Declan James, University of Nottingham to serve.
You've got to pull through, and it's a very difficult thing to come back from that. And unfortunately, we couldn't catch most of the other match. But now we're bringing you Declan James versus Youssef Soliman. Oh, and a very, very nice start from Soliman. Just setting out his stall nicely. Shows he's got a lot of confidence for this match.
2-love.
Youssef taking a very early lead on this one. I think Dec's just got to settle into this game a little bit before he can start to show what he's made of. Don't forget, of course, the crowd there, everyone's playing in front of tonight is it's a decent crowd. It's packed to the rafters. And it looks like I'm being joined again by my co-commentator. How are you, Rich?
Yeah, back again. That was stressful as a coach. Working it through, she...
Oh. Sorry, I just sort of threw the leg shot from Dec.
She has high expectations and, you know, you get upset when things don't go quite like they did in practice.
It's a challenge, isn't it? I bet. Do you think the rankings came into it? She wanted, well, the pressure of trying to show her worth.
No, not at all. I was actually really pleased with things that we've been working on, except for a couple of areas. And generally, I think it was positive. But in the nature of the beast, she's like never satisfied.
Yeah, you never are.
But good stuff to work on.
Yeah. Certainly. I was noticing in her match, in the first couple of games, she was making a very good use of when the ball was shoulder high, cross-court, low, flat, kill on the volley. But just towards the end of the match, the balls that she was hitting, well, the balls that she was trying to hit were coming at her with a little bit more height, which meant that she wasn't able to attack them nearly as well, which potentially made some of the winners that she was winning in the first not as good or not as effective as later on.
Yeah, sometimes difficult to cast your mind back, but really, after the first game, her length was poor when she was hitting hard, but good when she was hitting high. But she just had an error rate. But then Desney had the more errors in the third game.
It was a great match all in. Yeah, it was good. Right. Time now for a fight back from Dec James, though. Coming from 6-1 down, but a very nice finish in that rally.
Dec's had some good results recently.
No let. Handout. 7-2.
What's your pick for this night, for this match?
Well, I'd have thought this was our tie, Nottingham's tie, and Dec usually raises himself for the local crowd, and
being a local boy in his home club, it's a big factor.
Sometimes just takes time to settle in. I've seen him just working himself into a match.
He was struggling at the start of this one, and it looks like Youssef Soliman is taking fairly commanding lead in this game, in this first. It looks like he's got... I explained before, I haven't seen a lot of Youssef's play before, but he's got seemingly quite an unorthodox technique, which makes him very tricky to read in certain areas of the court.
He's been tight. He's won on quite a few tight shots. But this is not one to come back from, I don't think.
Yeah, time to reset.
Yeah.
Lovely lob to get out of trouble there. Heavy movement. Finishes the rally.
Left side, 10-2. Left. Left.
Not a great start for Dec
Yep.
in this one.
Sorry,
Only 6 minutes long this match, and I'm sure he would have hoped for longer. Just to help him settle in. For one thing, 6 minutes is very short.
Handout. 3-10
Youssef is
game.
benefiting, I reckon, from sparring with Marwan Al-Shabagi, and
Oh, of course. So are they both? I know Marwan's a student at Yuri.
Game to Bristol. Bristol lead.
Youssef
1 game to love.
finishing off that rally, that game in stylish fashion.
so what I saw there, probably 4 or 5 tight finishes from Youssef, playing a lot to the front and keeping Declan really working.
Yeah, it was hard to complain about the scoreline, but he was playing very well in that game, forcing a few errors, and Dec just not quite finding his range. So Richie's one game up in this one, I believe, at the moment. Just waiting to hear the score. Big decision.
It's a good shot. Very difficult to call that for a referee.
Yeah, I'd have gone for the mid ground, just give it a let.
Bristol lead. 1 game to love. Love all.
You can't coach that shot.
So let's see what Dec usually plays slightly faster pace, and he's catching a lot of side wall of the ball coming out of the service box area, and that's not like him.
No, but it's a nice start to this rally. He's setting out his stall. Ooh, I was going to say keeping his opponent in the back, but that is a ripper.
Handout, 1 love.
Straight from the back of the court. Taking Soliman completely by surprise. Ooh, another lovely finish. I thought he got it.
2 love.
Declan's got such a calm style that sometimes you can't imagine him getting all emotional on the court. Just,
yeah, can't remember an argument with the ref. But that said, sod's law, I know we'll see it.
it's a great tight ball. good angle for us to see down this wall.
Yeah, I like it. It's very good. Lots of play on that backhand. Ooh.
Yes, let. 2 love. Left side.
Soliman slightly struggling with his laces today.
They're great for getting a rest if they keep popping open.
No complaints, I'm sure. And that is well picked off. Loose cross court granted, but as a fantastic finish. No chance from Youssef. Similar finish to Declan.
Yeah,
Down,
they're both
1-3.
inclined to go for those long kills.
Has anybody got a towel? 4, please.
Yep.
1.
Yeah, what happens on a day like today, which hasn't been a cold day, it's been
Yeah, it's been fairly warm to be fair. Just a little bit.
fairly warm, and then when you've got a big crowd of people breathing hot air in there,
2-3.
you get condensation and obviously sweating from the players, but you get condensation as well on the walls.
Yeah, the walls can be a nightmare on these. Oh, whatever. Is that good? Oh, no, guess not.
3 all.
Yeah, the walls can be a nightmare on these traditional courts. With swans.
That was a risky one.
Yeah.
Hand
Bit
down.
close to it.
4-3.
Not far off.
Oh, loose.
Yeah. He wouldn't have done that if you were coaching him. Oof. Very nice. I love how nowadays, it's so standard in the sport. This is actually kind of a rally. Great rally. And well deserved round of applause from the crowd.
Just end up with a few tight ones just to restrict Youssef.
He gets a little bit loose and gets that chance.
Yeah, he just hits far enough past him to be nicely
Nope.
a nice obstacle.
You can't get the staff, can you?
Just do a little assessment and see if we can have him on the staff here.
Bit of a big commute from Bristol, but you know, might be worth it. Not quite the US Open, is it?
Thank you.
So with the slender lead probably tightening up a little bit.
5-3.
Declan slowly finding his range there. Put a few good short ones in.
Making a much better show of it this game rather. Definitely found his range now. He's keeping a bit more control out of Soliman, keeping him in the back corners a little bit more.
Give me a let.
No let.
Oh, look at that.
Hand out.
I agree with you.
4-5.
That's
There's
a
a
bit of a shocker. It
one
looked like,
step and hit.
yeah, it wasn't exactly tight. Very tight ball for Nick. That's a nice flick. And a very good finish.
It's difficult to take low down.
5-all.
There's that split second where you see how low it is above the tin. You think, right, this has a chance of being a great shot. And then it just hits that nick and rolls out. And you think, yeah, he's nailed that. Rally over. Lovely shot from Soliman.
Yes, left. 5-all.
And with that, of course, he's equalised the scoreline in this one. 5-all as we reach the midpoint. Both players making good use of height. Let's say, right on cue. For keeping each other on their toes.
Nice hold. I think Dex improved what he's doing up front. He's putting the short drop shots in.
6-5.
And they're tight enough now. He's getting some advantage there.
Yeah,
And that he's quite steady on his length and he's tightened up a little bit. He's not hitting the sidewall as much.
No, he's not giving Youssef the opportunities and he's tidying up himself, so
A lovely long hold there.
lost the ball. So I'm just being told that it took out one of the strip lights in the roof, so great shot. And there we go. You're back in the room.
Seven, 5.
So just as I say, he was taking equalising on points. Dex got the 2-point advantage back.
Yes, left. 7-5.
Yeah, fair enough. You give a let?
Yeah.
Simple traffic issue.
Down. Hand out. 6-7.
Poor error.
Tidied up that area.
7-all.
Yeah. I think he felt the pressure of Youssef on his back and error just squeezed again.
8-7.
His run of points just given away to Soliman. And another. This
9-7.
can't afford to make these kind of mistakes. I mean, that's 3 errors in a row that's now given Youssef the lead. And of course, if he wins this match, Youssef Soliman, then that is the match for the whole night.
Hand out. 8-9.
And there's Richie Fallows.
Did he get that match?
Let me find out for you.
Hand out. 10-8. Game ball.
So, big point here for Youssef. Taking a
Hand
2-love
out.
lead is going to be
9-10 game ball.
vital. So just to confirm, Nottingham won the last game 3-love, so the score now is Nottingham 1, Bristol 2 overall.
Yes, left. 9-10. Game ball.
Potential bias from the referee, eh?
He has to clear a long way out. He was probably clear, and probably Youssef should have had a pop at that one.
Don't blame him for trying though. Oh, that's a very nice long drop shot. And that is a fantastic finish. Great finish to bring it to 10 all.
That had to be super cool.
10 all, player must
And it
score by
was.
2 points.
So it's given himself that extra lifeline now. Both players trying to take control of that tee area now in this massive rally. It's a huge rally. Massive chance.
Yes, left. 10 all, left side.
Let ball given.
Close run thing, that, because it got nudged with the hip a little bit on his way through.
Yeah.
And almost seemed to shape to play the ball.
And that ball ran a little bit far back, so it was a close call. The decision is not running in the favour of Soliman tonight so far, at least in this game. Big chance now. Okay.
Good.
Handouts, 11-10, game ball.
So now this will be game ball number 3. Was he 10-8 up? No, was he 8-10 up when he first got that game ball? Ooh, that's nasty. Oh, that's a nasty slip.
There's a lot of sweat on the floor.
I don't think Youssef's going to want to do the... Ooh! Just leg coming out from under him.
Sort the floor out, please.
Lucky it went to the side and not
safe.
straight on, because that could have torn something nasty. Well, we can get the staff. Understandably, Youssef not wanting to take the role again. Certainly hope he's okay. So, you've seen this whole game so far. When we come back from the break, 11 all. We'll have a break now for these players. We'll give both these players a chance to catch their breath again and reset. Who do you think's got the advantage?
The mental control, just the coolness. They're both experienced players on the world stage, and you'd expect them both to have it. But this can just so often happen with certain atmospheric conditions. And as I said, it's been a warmish day, probably high humidity. And
here we have that replay again. Yeah, he's lucky that his leg kind of broke to his left, rather than carrying on straight through into the corner. So rather than fully extending the muscle, his foot kind of broke out in front of him, which meant that he lost the point. But no, thankfully, looks like he's got no real damage.
Pretty vital stage, really.
Yes, it's going to be massive. This break is going to really affect the players. You can see Dec trying to make sure he doesn't lose that mental edge, doesn't forget how to hit the ball.
Well, it makes it interesting, especially because Richie Fellows won that game for Nottingham.
Definitely.
We were always going to be slight favourites in the number 1 and 2 positions, but Youssef's making it tough for our number 2.
Certainly, which means Nottingham has the comeback potential
11-all.
now, but it all does depend on this match and potentially the next one. So, underway again, both players ready to take on the challenge of first to 2 points clear now. Good start for Dec. Soliman still not looking completely comfortable. Having a look at his and stretching his leg. That's a very nice shot from Dec. Second bounce right underneath the right before the sidewall.
Have we got any more dry towels down there?
Youssef having something to complain about at the moment.
I wonder what he's done.
I wonder if he's asking for another court wipe. I know he was playing with his knee, but...
Are you bleeding, Youssef?
Oh, he's bleeding, I see. Informed that he's bleeding, so... I believe he's got as long as it takes to stop the bleeding before he comes back on court.
Yeah.
So, another nice break.
You do have to stop bleeding once and for all. It's not allowed to reoccur.
Yes.
In the same spot.
Yeah, just punch someone else in the nose after they've got a bloody knee and claim the game. But now, of course, it was equal going into a long break, but now Dec has a 1 point advantage. Well, yeah, game ball to equalise, and of course, equalising is going to be so important for Dec's Dec to mount a challenge in this match, rather than going 2-love down. So Youssef certainly has an uphill struggle coming when he comes back on court again. So there, just to confirm, the 5th seed at Hannah Ramadan and Tesney Evans was 1-3 in the favour of Bristol. Lewis Walters lost 3-love to Tom Ford, putting Bristol 2-love up. We had Richie Fallows versus Josh Masters, which was in fact the 3rd string, despite the order, which he won 3-love, which puts Nottingham at 1 point on the board. And now we have Declan against Youssef Soliman. Soliman being 1 game to love up, but Declan now having game ball in the second. So I think, as we can see from the crowd being allowed to leave and such, it looks like we're going to have a brief break while we wait for the bleeding to stop. And we will return shortly.
So as you see, with the lack of action caused by a blood injury, which requires sorting fully before coming back on court, and that's Youssef Soliman. Had a little bit of a fall on their own sweat, really. It's one of those days where the humidity conditions slightly warm and a lot of people breathing in and out, and it's very hot for the players, and the water doesn't really dry on the court. If you look down at the back ends of the court, both left and right, you'll see dots on the floor. Those are dots of sweat, and it can be treacherous when you're moving at the speed that these guys move at. It's at a vital stage in the second game. Declan James being 12-11 up and 1 game down, so vital for Nottingham, well, vital for both. We do hope that Youssef hasn't got any other injury apart from the blood injury because of that fall. So a lot of the spectators that you see will have enjoyed the extended break, maybe got themselves a fresh pint just to enjoy the last match and a half. There are no more matches on the other court, so all the action takes place here. This is where it all gets decided. Referee coming up would have just been checking on the state of play with looking after that wound. See, in the interest of the playing professional, you get as much time as you need really to get the wound dealt with. There's only one proviso, that if the same wound, whatever bandaging you use, if that comes off and the wound starts to bleed again, then that player is penalised for not looking after that properly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Soliman
Sounds harsh, but
hoping to be back on court in the next 10 minutes.
The announcement of 10 minutes delay. Should definitely get the court a little bit of time to dry out. Some of those spots tend to fade down below. When they get back on court, they will need just to warm that ball up a little bit, just to get it up to playing speed. So until then, we'll leave you looking at the crowd scene.
Could Nick Hargrave come to courtside, please? Nick.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we apologise for this small interim. Youssef is struggling. He's being assessed at the moment. He's still to play, but obviously, you know, he has to be careful, and we're just making absolutely sure that he's going to be okay to continue. We're going to ask for your patience and another 5 minutes, please, but we will have a decision for you soon.
Okay, everyone, we are back live with our second seed match tonight. Declan James versus Youssef Soliman. Bristol currently 2-1 up against Nottingham. But in this match in particular, Youssef is winning 1 game to love, but Declan has game ball as we return to this game. Just to confirm with you guys, Youssef, in fact, did not have a blood injury, but was allowed extra time just to recover from overstretching a muscle. And here we can see it now. Oh, it does look very nasty. But he just had some ice on it for a few minutes, and looks like he's back and ready to go.
Yeah, this could end up being the crucial match of the night. Not particularly playing well in the first game, battling it out and getting to the point where it could level the match.
Certainly good.
When we looked earlier, there was a lot of sweat on the court. It looks like some of those dots have dried up a little bit, but I can assure you, walking around the gallery there, it's really warm. Yeah, 150 people.
Birmingham lead 1 game to love.
Warm bodies in a small space.
12-11.
Not a lot of chance for that heat to dissipate, so that court is going to be very toasty. I'd imagine neither player wanting to go too short, too quick.
It's their own fault for sweating so much,
12-11
really.
from the left.
Oh, wow. Have to agree there. Well, a clever serve from Decked as he has game ball. So this, of course, a very tense moment. Now, neither player wants
This is a true test of the pro, you know, you come back to the court.
after 15 minutes off, yeah. Massive rally, neither player wanting to lose it, of course. But so much on the line from no start, no warm-up, as it were, or no practice, kind of, to get you back into the match swing of things. Oh. Brave move from Deck, that shot, love that.
Yes, left.
Yes, let being given for that ball.
No one's giving an inch in this rally.
No, it's a very good rally to open up again. Very hard. Of course, these players will be plenty fresh after a 15-minute break. Deck had an opportunity there, but slightly gave it away. Massive battle going on. Is the ball good?
I was unsure.
Looked good from my eyes. What do you think, Rich?
I think it's all
Hand
clear
down.
white
12 all.
between the ball and the red line.
Yeah. Yeah, ball being deemed as good, so Youssef Soliman equalises in this game, so back to parity. Oh, very nice shot. Is that
No
an LA
left,
given?
hand out. 13-12.
13-12.
This will be interesting. This is where the referee should see where the ball bounces for the second time.
Yeah, you got to question, was he ready to play it? Did he?
With the benefit of a replay, let's...
Yeah, it would be nice to get that again.
13-12 game ball.
No, it looks like we can't get that replay, unfortunately. But A very important shot, very brave shot from Deck to finish that rally. But it paid off in the end. Neither player wanted to give an inch, but it looks like
13-12, game ball.
let being given. You can feel the tension in this. I know.
And he makes another mistake.
Hand out, 13
He was making plenty of those in.
First game, this is the story of his nights there. Making so short on that.
Well, in the past, he's always slightly been known as a bit of a shot player, so that's very good. That is brilliant. Forget very good.
His fast movement into the front, like now,
That body positioning was very nice.
that's a very accurate finish.
Yeah, shaped up really nicely for that. Like he was facing the entire, completely the wrong way, but shaped up perfectly to take that ball in. Very good finish. But this game, this is a cracker. To come back from injury like this and keep fighting off game balls, Youssef Soliman is. It's a very hard thing to do. Remind me, did Deck have... Ooh, error being made and another.
Right.
Once
Hand
again,
out,
back to
14 all.
It's a bit awkward being right by his legs.
No let, 15-14.
Quick kill
Game
with a
ball.
lot of cut on it. It stopped really short.
But now he's first off. This is his first. Is this his first game ball?
Yeah.
So
This
massive,
for a 2-love.
massive chance. Big decision.
Yes let, 15
Yes, let being played.
Game ball.
Oh, waiting with bated breath.
That was close.
Yeah. But will he take it? This is first. Oh, it's a great shot. Never mind, he won't take it on his first opportunity.
Right, that was good because
Hand
watch how
out,
tight the ball
15 all.
goes when he hits it down.
And he plays it with so much
It
power.
drifts into the sidewall. Look at that. Just at that moment when the opponent gets there.
And his body position, the way he played it so fast, meant that it came. Youssef had to sort of run around his body to get to it, which meant he was so rushed when he got to the ball. And being so tight, difficult to do anything with it. Oh, quick fire rate on that.
That's a
Oh,
good back.
very good finish. So, 16-15. This game is almost turning into 2.
16-15. Game
Quick
ball.
exchange. That's a very good shot.
Very good.
This one coming forward
Very quick
now.
fire.
This is a quick fire.
Yes let, 16 all. 16-15 game ball.
So, as we said about 10 points ago,
Who would have thought?
massive chance and
Why?
he squanders it.
A night of
Hand
errors
out,
for him.
16 all.
No kidding. I mean, he's a shot player, so he makes some ridiculous winners sometimes, but not all of them coming off tonight. Very mixed. Nice recovery, being very deep in that corner. Big rally this. chance. And Deck Smith.
Stroke to Nottingham.
Stroke to Nottingham. And a racket throw to go with it.
17, 16.
And the loose ball, of course, can't necessarily swing that shot. It's a bit
Game ball.
swing on that one. It's a bit close to him.
17, 16.
Stroke being given. And now Deck James has another match, not match ball, game ball in this second game. I mean, the length of this one is, if you exclude the break, has basically been a game on its own. And the mental pressure on both of these players to keep backing up, knowing that, you know, 2-point advantage is all that is needed to take the whole game at this point. This might be very difficult to come back from, whoever loses it. And as a reminder, of course, Bristol are 2 up, and that is a really good shot from Youssef Soliman.
Handout 17 all.
Right on the wall.
Yeah. The way it fades onto the side wall, and just as Deck tries to hit it. Oh, this is a brute of a match. 17 all, and both players looking like they really, really want this. Nice reactions, but there goes the error. And another. How many times exactly? And this is Youssef's second. Oh! Oh! Unbelievable, Jeff.
Handouts 18 all.
That is some confidence from Declan James.
Can we have the door open again, please?
Fair enough of Youssef wanting the floor to be swept again. I don't think anyone wants to see a repeat of that incident from earlier. And just to help with the heat, we've got the door now open on the right-hand side, so I wonder if that will affect the amount at which these players are going to take the ball in short, with the court potentially cooling down a little bit. So for any of those who don't know too much about squash, of course, the harder you hit the ball, the warmer it gets. And there is a very fortunate winner from Declan James, rolling out the back nick.
Bit of luck.
Never hurts, does it? But yes, for any non-squashers players out there, the warmer the court is, the warmer the ball stays, and the warmer the ball is, the bouncier it is. So the riskier it gets to take those balls into the front corners. Because it just gives your opponent more time.
Yes, left 1918.
Ooh, and a let ball being
ball.
given. What would you have done there, Rich?
Yeah, let.
Left side.
Now, the issue isn't really the fact that it's bouncy. That they can cope with. It's just condensation again. So do their best to cool things down.
Brave move from Deck. Put him under a lot of pressure this rally.
Yes, left 1918.
Yes, look coming from it. Perhaps a little bit cheeky from Deck, because that was a very tight ball in the end. Perhaps he didn't want to play it, but enough interference in the end.
Really high drop shots.
Massive rally this. Still game ball.
Yes, let.
Yes, let being given. It just looks like Deck is really hunting for this, and Youssef looks a little bit passive in these rallies. Not quite being as positive, taking the ball in short as much as Deck is, or at least with not with as much confidence. Very good. This is a knackering rally.
Yeah, Youssef doing quite a lot of work.
Yeah, this is such a great match.
Stroke.
And that is a stroke to Nottingham. Declan James takes the second game and equalises the score. 20 to 18.
One game all.
The score is 1 game all.
Everybody, 2 for the price of 1 that game. I think not only does that equalise things, but you know, Declan sort of probably feels they're a little bit more settled into the match, satisfied with that, and then I'd say he's going to get himself into a higher state.
It was a very good match for Deck, eventually closing it out, but very mentally draining for both players, so they'll have to really reset after that, especially after almost completely fighting 2 matches in 1, 2 games in 1. And while they're off, we can see the scores from the other venues. So Birmingham are now 2-2 against Warwick, so that'll be an interesting one. Decider match now being played. And Bexley already taking the 3-0 against Chichester. RAC taking 3-2 against Coolhurst, so another close match down in the South League.
It's a lot tougher north of Watford Gap, isn't it?
Bristol still make the journey. So, scores of 1 game apiece. Now, did I ask you what your what you think the result's going to be in this one?
You didn't, and
1 game all.
I think I better get the record of my
Nottingham
predictions.
to
I think Declan's going to take this from here.
Oof.
1 love.
You got a scoreline for that?
I think he'll take the next 2 games.
Okay.
2 tins.
2 love.
Haven't seen that from Youssef at all. Three. Shake hands.
3 love.
Oh no. Looks like he can't continue without with that injury that he's taken.
It's such a shame. He gave a really good performance, Youssef.
If he'd have taken the second, I think he would have carried on, but that's really upsetting. Really unfortunate for him.
Well, just, yeah, as a fellow professional of many years back, just hope he recovers and continues on his progress in the game.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. Luckily, he was able to compete for that.
From a Nottingham position, it's obviously a good result, but not the nicest way to get it. And it brings us to the, probably, as we said early on, the match that we're all really dying to see. And that's
number 4 in the world, Nick Matthew.
And number
6 in the world, Marwan El Shabaghi. So that should be an absolute belter. And now that it's a decider, all the pressure's on for these two.
Yeah, nothing I think the two of them haven't experienced before.
No. No, but you'll see they'll both want this.
Players should be almost straight out on the court and all to play for.
Hmm.